Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well out there, and welcome to Chuka University podcast, where today we are going to talk about the social media, and the mental health. How social media is affecting the mental health of our young generation, the young kids, the youths, and the young elder. And today here with me, I have two of my friends here. They are going to tell us their name as we proceed. From this side,
Yes, my name is Beatrice Sheila. And my name is Natasha Mwake.
thank you very much. As you can see here, we have Beatrice Sheila and Natasha Mwake here. We are reloaded with knowledge. We are going to talk about the mental health, the social media, how social media has affected most of the youths in across the globe. So as you can see, we did our research recently, and we've come up with proofs that social media really has affected the young generation, because you can see now the young generation mostly rely on social media as their source of information mostly, and it has affected our product. It is affecting our productivity, as you can see. Maybe Beatrice Sheila here will tell us something. Beatrice, do you agree with me about the social media and its effect?
Yes, I completely agree. The digital love affair, whereby uh, there is sex extortion, there is mental health, there is addiction, there is also how can I put it? Our attention span has been reduced in a certain way.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover up TikTok,
Uh-huh.
Snapchat, Instagram. Which one have I forgotten? All
The
other, all
X,
others. Yeah,
Facebook.
Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, which is now formally known as X. So we're going to cover up all the social media, the ones that are known by our fellow youths, our fellow teenagers also. And we're also going to cover different topics that actually uh, that actually affect us. So just to start up on mental health, how does mental health affect us? How does it also come up when it comes to TikTok, when it comes to Instagram?
That is something we can say the viewer out there will be questioning us. Like you're saying, social media, especially the short form videos, because when we say Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, we're talking about short form videos. So the viewer might be asking, how is it social media? How is it affecting us?
Yeah.
So tell us, Beatrice.
So before we turn to Beatrice here,
Yes.
what simply we are talking about is what are we what do we have in the social media? What do we see? What the short clips that you're talking about? What are they about, and how are they affecting the young generation? Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you so much, my friends. Okay, so when we talk about short clips, uh, you find out that most of the movie companies have actually emerged. New movie companies have actually emerged. For example, you have Real Shot, we have Drama Box, we have net movies. So these are just example of movie companies that have come up, and they're following the same trend, the same short clips trend. And why are they following the same short clips trend? This is because most of the consumers, most of the clients, most of the entertainment viewers are actually on social media, and most of the social media clips are short. So you find out that most of the movie companies go in the same direction, because that is where most of the consumers also go. Most of the consumers spend their time, right? So short clips, how does it affect us as teens? You find that it grabs our attention. You find that the short clips mostly are less than 2 minutes, less than 1 minute. So you find that it affects our attention. It actually affects our attention because a 1 minute video, obviously it interrupts with how your brain works.
Yes.
You know, and I know that health workers, health practitioners, health employers are going to agree with me on this.
So,
it actually affects our brain. Yes.
The short videos, the short clips that we watch on TikTok and Instagram, X, they actually shorten our attention span.
Yes.
Yes, mostly affecting because if you look at the most of the people affected are the younger age, the teenagers and the young adults are the most people who are affected by this. So maybe Natasha, your view on this?
So, okay, from what Beatrice is saying, is that due to the short videos we are consuming, we as consumers in TikToks, Instagrams, it has led us to have small attention spans, and that is one of the effects that we see from social media consumption. Okay.
Okay, and again, if you leave out the attention span, there may be some effects that are brought about by the social media. We can point out if you have the knowledge.
Okay. Just to stay on the same short clips
Yeah.
before we move on to the next topic. You find that in TikTok we have different content. So the content is wide. The first video that you have viewed is different content from the next one. So you find that your brain, before it internalize, before it digests the first video, it has already moved to the next video, which is a different content. So you find that the digestion of content and the utilization and the knowledge that was supposed to be utilized and to be acquired is actually shifted, which is a major crisis when it comes to our brain digestion.
Our brain function.
Yeah, and our brain function.
Yes, on that same note, we can say that because the content is diverse and different perspective, our brains are running on 24/7 and are trying to catch up with all these things on a pattern. So it can be seen people are if someone anakuwa addicted in an essence yenye, if this person cannot stay for more than 2 hours without consuming content from TikTok, from Instagram, or maybe from Facebook Reels. And we can also say that doom scrolling inatokea, it comes out from that many content within a short period of time. You can see that a TikTok short kamoja, one it's like less than 30, it's 30 seconds. By the time you realize 2 hours has passed away and your schedule has been ruined. And this is something new as my fellow youth, unaweza sema unapata you had something to do and all of a sudden unasikia mtu anakwambia, as a friend, maybe you had a meet up with someone and someone says, oh my goodness, I forgot, and not because alikuwa anafanya something important.
Yeah, so is it evident that yes, social media is affecting the younger generation? My answer to you, viewer, is yes. We can see in the world of today, you can see the younger generation mostly rely on the social media content and the AI. You can see in our today's generation, mostly the youth. We have seen in classes, it is very rare to find a student who can pay attention on a topic for like an hour or two without complaining or sleeping. Yes, so Mercy, Sheila here and Natasha have told us that it is because of the social media that we can see that our youths have, should I call it laziness or something?
No. Though laziness is also one of the things that comes as an effect of it.
Yes.
Because once you are used to staying on your bed for hours, the moment you umeamka, someone just takes the phone
Yes.
and starts scrolling on TikTok. Akitoka TikTok the next 2 hours ako Instagram. From Instagram anarudi Facebook, anarudi TikTok. This is evidenced by the weekly reports unapatanga from your phone. Unapata someone's weekly report in a read almost 13 hours, and the most used apps ni gani? Social media apps.
Yes.
So that is also nani. You could say it affects so many of us as Gen Zs. And to add on that, dear viewer, also our parents. If you do not know, some parents out here,
Yes.
unaweza pata uko na mzazi in the same sitting room, but since now they are also they know how to use technologies, digital media apps, unapata mzazi hakusumbui tena. The way mzazi kitambo alikuwa atanag.
The
Now,
parents
yes,
parents encourage the use of mobile phones
in some way, because unapata ukikuja sitting room from a bedroom, your parent is there. I cannot say all of them, but some of our parents do nje.
Yeah.
Unapata pia na yeye ako TikTok, kwanza anakutumia kwa TikTok huko page, anakutumia ona hiyo nimeona. So it is something that it is also affecting the other generation, like
so as we conclude, maybe we can point out maybe how maybe this can be prevented. As experts, you have explored this issue, and maybe you have come up with some 1, 2, or 3 ideas on how we can resolve this. Maybe to you, Sheila.
He has talked about AI, and also my fellow friend here, Natasha, has talked about relationship. So you find that the AI and relationship is actually on the same page. I'm going to put it on the same page, whereby you find that the relationship that us and our parents are having is actually becoming difficult, because you find that communication is a problem. You find that everyone is on their phone, which means communication is basically a problem. And when communication is a problem, you find that relationships actually break down. And if you don't find if you don't have a good relationship, let's say with your parent or your spouse, you're going to look for that love in somewhere else, right? Of which one of the love you're going to find in social media, you're going to fall into social media. And that is where AI has come. We have AI boyfriend, we have AI girlfriend, whereby some people are not able to communicate with each other, and you find out that the loneliness becomes too much. So somebody looks for other ways to fill in the gap, you know. And that is where AI boyfriend comes, AI girlfriend comes. And actually, it's not healthy and it's not advisable, because it's based on fantasy. It's based on fantasy, it's based on false hope, it's based on technology. Okay, and that affects our communication once again. And when we talk about communication, we talk about mental health.
Yes.
Because if you're not able to communicate, if you're not able to engage with your fellow colleagues, you're not able to engage with your parents, you're not able to communicate with your fellow students, which means you're going to break down. You're not able to speak up what it hurts you. So AI boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm not actually a fan of it, because it's just a false fantasy, technology based. There is no real feelings there. It's actually time consuming. So yeah, when we move to the next, we talk about addiction, right?
Yeah.
You find that most of the time you are procrastinate, or you postpone things, or you procrastinate something that you are supposed to do it, let's say at 2. You find that you have been scrolling one video, and before you know it, you have spent 2 hours on TikTok. Before you know it, you have watched a short clip movie for about 2 hours, and something that you are supposed to do, let's say at 2 p.m., you find that it's 3 p.m. So you're like, okay, hiyo kitu nitaifanya kesho. So yeah, that's how it is. You procrastinate, you postpone things, and it actually affects our productivity, because at the end of the day, what have you done? You find that if you look at your history on the phone, the most used app, TikTok, followed by Instagram, followed by Snapchat. There is no way you're going to find that the most used app is ChatGPT. It can never happen. Most of us, it never happens like that.
Or any calling apps like Truecallers, or maybe even the phone app.
Yeah.
By the way, I looked at my weekly report last week, and I was shocked. It was nowhere to be found, my call up. And that is to bring me to what we just said. When we are deeply immersive in doom scrolling and watching content from other people, we are living in a life that it is not productive. And I realized that it is important, as much as it is good to give ourselves some entertainment and enjoy and some breaks, we should minimize it, because ukisema that unapata mtu ana procrastinate and then you become lazy. I even had an incident with my friend who spent a whole month, not even 1 month, over 2 months akikaa kwa nyumba, that inafika to a point yenye she was now afraid to go out and meet people. Unapata this type of people are now cannot walk in an afternoon as such, a good afternoon like today, and they're out, they wait until it is midnight for them to go out because they don't want to socialize with everyone. And this is caused by that excessive scrolling and all that.
Yes, the effects of social media, the effects that social media brings to our young generation. Today we are here, three of us. We are loaded with knowledge. As you can see, Natasha here has explained the effects, and Sheila here have said that one of the effects is addiction, and it is very evident that most of the young generation are so addicted to the phones, in that they tend to be lazy and forget about important things. Am I right, my fellows?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we can just point out some of the effects. Mercy, Sheila here.
Okay. On my own perspective, I think that digital platform is the worst invention that has been invented in humanities. Like, it's probably the worst on my own perspective, because you find that there is a lot that actually is covered when it comes to social media. When it comes to the next is sex explosion. What do I mean with sex explosion? You find that, for example, Snapchat. To be specific on Snapchat is one of the most used sex apps that is used to recruit more people by sex traffickers. It's one of the apps that is used. Why do I say this? You find that in your Snapchat, when it comes to message, then message is always swiped off within 24 hours, which means that whatever somebody sends you, whatever picture, whatever video, you come across it, when it comes to message, it's actually wiped off, which means that evidence, for example, if a sex trafficker comes across a child, whatever message is used to persuade the child, the innocent child, whatever techniques is used to persuade the child, is actually, the evidence is actually swiped off. For example, if it's a meeting place, it's actually swiped off. So whatever is used there is actually the evidence is actually swiped off. So most of the sex trafficker use it as a tool, according to me, because I've interacted with it, and the message is swiped off. And also, when we remain in the same sex, extortion, actually, when we remain in the same sex, that, for example, if a sex trafficker interacts with one person, you'll find that there is mutual friends, there is friends. So if a sex trafficker has access to one teen, which means he has access to multiple teens, because we all know a fellow youth will interact with a fellow youth, right?
Yeah.
So a fellow teen will interact with a fellow teen. So which means if that sex trafficker comes across one teen, he has come across to multiple teens, and the evidence is actually swiped off. The meeting place, wherever they communicate, how he expresses himself, how he love bombs the child is actually wiped off. Yeah, and it actually promotes sex extortion.
And on the same, and to add on that, we can also say TikTok. We all know some specific hours. Around those ungodly hours, if I
Yeah,
could
2
say
p.m.,
so,
3
2
p.m.
a.m.,
Yes,
3 a.m., 4
yeah.
a.m., you find some teens, 16-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and 18-year-olds, even people who are overage, and they're using these apps at that time, and the app automatically suggests things that relates to that, like to the idea about, having someone by your side. And this is something that many, as you've said, many people who are engaged in sex trafficking or in that sector, they would take that as an opportunity to reach out to these people and to post their content and to gain the attention of innocent people or people who are yet to have an understanding of how things are going.
Okay, so as we have explored the sex extortion, we've seen that social media is encouraging sex extortion, whereby the sex traffickers they lure a lot of teenagers into the sex. Should I call it sex, or is it a bad language?
It is not.
Yeah, they lure the teenagers into sex, and you'll find out that in a very short period of time they reach out to very many teens, yeah, in once. And yes, as you have said here, at the end of the day, we lack evidence to prove that the guy, the sex what, Sheila? The sex trafficker has lured a certain number of youth into
Yes.
this bad activity. Yeah, so as we move forward, maybe we can point out. We have pointed out the effects of social media, so we can explore some of the solutions to this. How can we resolve this, the effects of social media to the teenagers? Sheila.
Okay, before we move that, I just have a little information. You find that, for example, Facebook, there is a certain place where you fill in your own personal information. For example, uh, relationship status, there is single, in a relationship, or in a marriage. If you move downwards, it's actually there is workplace. So you actually have a place where you can put in your location of work. If you move again downwards, you're going to find that you can also place there your phone number. So you find that this information is actually useful to fraud, or to actually people who want to scam you. In short, scammers. It's actually a useful information. For example, if you say I'm a lecturer at a certain university, a prestigious one, so somebody knows, oh, okay, you're loaded with something, this one is a potential client. So you find that if you move downwards, for example, when it comes to relationship, you find that somebody can plot let's say a plan to love bomb you, just in order to acquire something that is productive in her own or his own way. If you move downwards, when it comes to phone number, you find that scammers are always alert, and a phone number changes everything. How do I say that a phone number changes everything? You find that your phone number can be used to scam your own relatives in the name of, somebody and somebody is in the hospital. You need to send a certain amount of money so that you can pay the bill, and then he or she can be able to come back home. Okay, so you find that incidents like this, a phone number is very, very crucial information. You can also find that I don't think if I'm the only one that has found out that you get messages from schools. Join this group. You find another one has come inside your phone, or you can invest in this certain company. You're going to get this profit. So you find that the moment your contact has been exposed, has actually placed an opportunity for a scammer to actually scam you. And yeah, if you find out also there is TikTok. Kama kwa mfano unapata hawa wasichana ambao wako TikTok, unapata it's a very good platform, social media. There is TikTok, there is Instagram. There are some people who are making are professional scammers. Unapata msichana ako pale anakuuliza wasichana zake, kama atakapata msichana nilipe 5,000, alafu nifanye nini? Ni kuconnect. So you find that 5,000 yako hivyo ndio imeenda, 10,000 yako hivyo ndio imeenda. Wewe unajua ukipata mzungu wa umoka. So you find that if you get this kind of man, a working class, you're going to prosper, you're going to have a good life, you're going to have a soft life. So you find that social media has actually become a tool where scammers have taken it as a professional business, a professional company. You come convince, you use video clips, you convince people, you use sweet words, you convince people. So actually on my end, I believe that social media is actually a really good tool when it comes to business for scammers.
Okay, so you have said that our personal information, the information that we give out when maybe logging into the social media platforms, we should look onto them. You should not just give out information like the phone numbers and all that. Okay, and again, we can look at the emails. Yeah, we have seen that most of the teenagers, their emails are being hacked, and you find out that these sensitive videos are being sent to their emails. So how do you prevent that? You make sure that for you to make sure that your email is so secured, that is security of the emails, strong passwords and all that. Changing your passwords regularly can prevent the hacking of your emails.
And to wrap on that, we can say that social media really do pose a threat to our security as users, especially since unaona we are leaving digital footprints, our emails, our interactions, when you comment, when you share something. And like example, when you're sharing a video from TikTok to Instagram, there is always a process of referring to the Instagram, and all this, they are digital footprints we are leaving behind. And to ensure that you as a viewer out there, as a teenager, as a youth, to ensure that your mental health is okay, to ensure that as much as you're enjoying using TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you have to be mindful. You have to have the awareness of what could be going on. There are some people out here who just use the apps without the knowledge of what could be happening to them. Not all of us are equipped to that knowledge of knowing that, as Beatrice has said, when you're using Snapchat, that your message is in a footer, and anyone anaweza kuja akuambie anything and something happens, and your parents or your guardians or your loved ones would never know what happened. So
so we've explored the effects of social media and how we can curb these like how social media affect us and the solutions to the problems that social media brings to us. So dear viewer, the underage, the under 18, the teenager, the youthful age, how do you use social media? What do you do? What do you do with your phone at home? How does it affect you? That is very important. Thank you very much, dear viewer. I think from that point we are going to finish our podcast. Maybe my fellows here can say a word or two as we finish.
Okay, we have talked about how digital love affair has always interfered with the youth. But just to wrap up, how do we minimize? Because at the same time as social media affects us, there is actually the positive side, and we have only talked about the negative side. So how do we minimize the effect? I would actually recommend that the social media moved to a laptop or a computer. That way, it's actually hard to access during the day. So you find that the productivity level is actually your own productivity level is actually well progressed or well improved at the end of the day, because the amount of time you spend with your phone is not the amount of time you spend with your laptop or your computer. So I would actually recommend that if the social media platforms, you download them actually on your laptop or on your computer. And then I would also recommend that before you sleep, you actually just turn off the notification button on the social media apps. For example, if it's TikTok, if it's WhatsApp, if it's Instagram, if it's Snapchat, that will enable you to have a well rest without interruption. So for example, if you are to have an 8-hour rest, it is not interrupted whereby you hear like a ringtone or a notification is up. That will actually make you curious to find out, oh, what is this that has been sent recently? So yeah, turning off the notification on each and every social media apps before you use is actually good. And then you find out that most of us feel like boredom is actually a punishment, and like before, before the invention of smartphone, because the digital world actually came through, was introduced to us, specifically Kenya, in 2015, right? So the digital world was actually introduced 2015, and basically we were in the analog world. So you find out that like us, basically we feel like boredom is actually a punishment, of which it's not. Having your own time, sparing like 30 minutes, sparing like just an hour, actually improves your when it comes to generation of ideas. It actually improves. You come up with so many ideas, you come up with your own, like, you self love, self recognition, just sparing a few minutes, away from social media, away from just digital platforms, actually improves your own mental health. uh I think that's all I would actually advise. Yeah.
Yes, and to wrap it up for this session of a podcast, I would say that, as my dear friend Beatrice has said, we need to be active participants of the touch grass phenomena or movement. Be active in Nani. Practicing meditation. Do your yoga in your room, 2 minutes, 10 minutes when you wake up before you touch your phone. Try as much as you can to engage in physical activities. It could be walking 10 kilometers a day. If that is too much, walk around your compound. Tembelea your friend, muulize leo kwaje, and that will help so much in the aspect of our mental health as teens and as youths of our country.
And thank you very much, dear listener. That's all we had for you today on our podcast. This is Chuka University Radio Podcast.
Yes.
Till we meet again. And remember, I did not mention my name. My name is Albert David Otieno.
Yes, and my name is Natasha Mwake.
Yeah, and my name is Beatrice Sheila.